So what you do is you take 4 cups of bourbon and then you reduce it down to, oh crap, we're back on the air. And that means it is time for the kayfabe issues. Play my sound.
Oh, France! Same difference! We wanted to fuck around.
I hate you so much.
Keep it up, I'm a nigga.
So much. Play my sound.
Oh, you were not aware of this? Your posterior better contact someone at once!
Stop! We're gonna get us. I can't monetize this episode now. Thank you. Thank you, Gunner. I can no longer monetize this episode, which means I can't make money to pay for the Spreaker for us to broadcast live.
10 seconds.
Gunner!
10 seconds of a song. 10 seconds
Trying
of a
to
song
kill the
you can
show.
play. 10 seconds of a song you
that
can
is
play.
not how copyright works. But that doesn't matter because it's time for the kayfabe issues. And this week we are doing the focus group. All 3 of us. I guess I will join in because it's going to be boring if it's just Gunner and Omega talking. Because Gunner's going to be a dick, and Omega BR is not going to be able to make a decision. So, what we're doing this week is we will be the casual fans reviewing a wrestling product. And this product will be the complete WCW 2000 and 2001 box set containing all episodes of Nitro and Thunder. And the special, the extra, is a special commentary by Vince Russo.
So, today I was given this box set. It was a huge box set. This is like 100 DVDs or something like that, or like 25 Blu-rays or some bullshit. And apparently it's at this company. Have you guys heard of World Championship Wrestling?
Isn't that thing that Road Dogg and that other guy on that YouTube show say ruin everything?
I guess. Wasn't that a different company though?
It might have been.
Omega, you know, you should know this stuff.
Yeah, something like that. Personally, I thought I was getting the World Croquet Wrestling.
No. This isn't World Crockett Wrestling. That was another thing. Wasn't it? Crockett Wrestling?
Yeah, that was part of the NWA, which always confused me because why did Dr. Dre and Eazy-E get into wrestling?
I guess it was like that one time that I was at GameStop and I was buying like BioShock, one of the two, I forgot which. And there was this game for PlayStation 2. It was called Def Jam Vendetta, and I was like, "Whoa,
Oh, that game! I love that game."
It was just surprising. But back to the point here. So apparently, this World Championship Wrestling was a thing, and I don't remember it. I guess that makes me a '90s kid.
I guess. I don't know. This is stupid, though. They made Courtney Cox's husband world champion.
Hey, they're no longer married.
Well, still, like, you've got friggin' Dewey from Scream and is the world champion. And he didn't even get tough until, like, the 3rd movie.
He was never tough. Not even the 8-legged freaks. This was just weird. Okay, so there was I'm confused. Who is Vince Russo?
he's a wrestler, right? Because like he was going out and he was talking, and I think he had a match once.
Omega, who is Vince Russo?
Oh, I thought he was the concessions guy.
No, because they don't let the concessions guy talk.
No, there was another concessions guy. No, the one your concession guy is thinking of, I think his name was Smiley something. Smiley Normal. Smiley Whiplash. No, that's Snively Whiplash.
Okay, you know what? No, stop. You've gone too far.
Gone too far?
You've gone too far. You have insulted Norman Smiley.
I haven't insulted Norman Smiley. He's just
You
a guy.
just called him a freaking concessions worker.
I didn't call him a I didn't mean to call him a concessions worker. He just came out and, he was trying to sell
Yes, he did come out, but I don't know what that has to do with anything.
A lot of plunder. Plunder. It's supposed to be funny because he's selling plunder.
Jesus Christ. This segment.
You know, I have to say, I didn't actually get any DVDs. I opened the box labeled WCW, and all that was inside was urine.
Why did you get that?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, and not like a jar of it. Just the bottom of the box seemed to be soaked in pee. But I have to say, I still didn't. I enjoyed it. I'd buy it.
Even with a soggy box?
Hey, who doesn't enjoy a soggy box?
I heard you didn't.
Really, Gunner? This isn't that
Well,
kind of show.
yeah.
We don't do that here.
But back to this WCW thing. I recognized Hulk Hogan. Oh, he got really mad at that Vince Russo guy.
And I think there was Macho Man. And there was Big Show on there.
Man, he was skinny.
I know. And he
Did you see him do the moonsault?
I know. It was so cool. I know.
Who's Kevin Nash? He looked a lot like a guy named Diesel that I used to know.
No, you're thinking of Kane. Kane used to be Diesel.
Oh, okay. I'm all confused.
You know what? This segment is going nowhere. This is awful. Let's just stop this. The three people that were listening have already stopped. They're like, no, this is dumb.
Basically, if for those of you who aren't aware, and I'm pretty sure there's none of you aren't aware, but basically, for those of you who aren't aware, WCW in 2000 to 2001 was a timeline thing that recently happened. Was reviewed by kayfabe commentaries on the Vince Russo shoot. 2.5 hours of Vince Russo talking about WCW 2000 when he and Ed Ferrara came into the company, and it's just an interesting look at their perspective of what went on. Whether or not it actually happened that way, or it was supposed to be enjoyed that way, is a whole other problem in and of itself. But
well, here's what you do: you take what Vince Russo says about what happened, and then on the other side, you take the myriad of evidence of hundreds, probably hundreds of friggin' wrestlers that have said the complete opposite happened, and that things were a completely different way, and then you decide which is more likely.
Basically,
It's still an interesting listen. I would rather. There's nothing much to look at, so if you're listening, and you put it on your iPod and you go work out and you go listen to it, you can go laugh at Vince Russo's terrible accent and his terrible booking sense.
I gave you the perfect out with pee in a box.
Yeah, well, I was trying to take that out, but you know how it is. You try and get out, and they just drag you right back in. So let's just do it. Let's just go through.
Dairy Queen drive-through.
Gunner missing his cue yet again.
Going through the Dairy Queen drive-through. Alright, with the ratings, I'm doing ratings this week. Impact. The 9/12 TNA Impact Wrestling did a final 1.08 cable rating with 1.39 million viewers. This number is up from last week's show, which did a 0.98 cable rating with 1.31 million viewers. SmackDown, the 9/13 WWE SmackDown on Sci-Fi, did a final 1.96 cable rating with 2.83 million viewers. This number is up from last week's show that did 1.88 cable rating with 2.47 million viewers. Raw, last night's episode of WWE Raw, drew a 2.96 3.0 cable rating with 4.01 million viewers, up 2% and 3% respectively from 2.91 and 3.89 million the week before. The show did hours of 3.87 million and 4.16 million and 4.01 million to average out. Total Divas, Sunday's edition of WWE's Total Divas, the mid-season finale, apparently, did 1,036,000 viewers, down from over 500,000 viewers from last week's show. Mind you, the show went up against Sunday Night Football and WWE's own Night of Champions pay-per-view, so this isn't terribly surprising. However, 1.036 and 1.39 million viewers isn't that far off. Impact beat them this week, but just by a smidge.
I was just hoping those people realized the show sucked.
And with the birthdays, yank 'em.
All right, as always with the birthdays, if I say a dead man's name, you tweet it to us, and maybe win something, possibly. I don't know. We'll come up with something. So on the 18th, we've got Blue Panther and Moondog Manson. On the 19th, it's Yoshihiro Takayama. On the 20th, Double A Arn Anderson, Mike Graham, and Greg the Hammer Valentine. On the 21st are Jake Briscoe, Buster Hyman, and really, is that one even real? Buster Hyman? Really?
Yes, he worked in the Northwest.
Ricky Morton. On the 22nd is Ole Anderson, Luther Reigns, the Beast Bob Sapp, Super Dolphin, and Johnny Valentine. On the 23rd, Azrael and Matt Hardy. And on the 24th, Bison Smith, Stephanie McMahon, and April Hunter. And that is your... Really? Buster Hyman? That's your birthdays.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Yes, this weekend, wrestling history. Circa 1992, where the WWF holds a show in conjunction with War promotion in Japan. In the main event, Ric Flair versus Genichiro Tenryu goes to a draw in a 3 falls match. Tenryu wins the first fall, Flair wins the second, and both men were counted out in the third. Also on the show, Road Warrior Animal defeated the Road Warriors defeated the Beverly Brothers. Oh, pardon me. Road Warrior Animal defeated the Beverly Brothers in a handicap match. During the bout, Animal aggravated a back injury and ended up retiring from the ring, not returning to wrestling for over 3 years. Jump to 1994, where after just over 3 years of operation, the Global Wrestling Federation closed down. The group, which had a television show on ESPN, had attempted to fill the wrestling void left when Fritz von Erich left the business and Jerry Jarrett stopped promoting in Texas. This would pretty much mark the end of any Dallas-based company as a national force on the wrestling scene, although it is credited for helping to launch the careers of The Patriot, Jerry Lynn, and Lightning Kid, known as Sean Waltman, popularly. And in 1999, ECW held their Anarchy Rules pay-per-view in Villa Park, Illinois, drawing the largest live crowd in the original ECW's history, with over 6,000 fans in attendance. The show featured Taz losing the ECW World title to Mike Awesome in a three-way dance with Masato Tanaka. Despite the way it's portrayed on WWE's Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, this was not Taz's final ECW match, as he continued to wrestle for the company through November. And that was this week in wrestling history.
We're going to do some happy trails. Happy trails to former TNA Knockout SoCal Val, Paige Nicole Mayo. She was arrested and charged with DUI and leaving the scene of an accident back on August 31st. She was arrested and then released the same day after posting a $600 bond after being cited and charged with failing to yield to oncoming traffic when making a left turn from that incident. She was originally set for an arraignment today, as of this recording, on Tuesday, September 17th, but that hearing has been canceled.
So
God damn it,
what you're
SoCal.
saying is that the cops found SoCal Val driving drunk and decided to hold the Mayo. Huh?
That was more corny than fucking Irish dinner. Or the Jim Cornette household. Or Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Take your pick. Happy trails to Chris Jericho's idea. Chris Jericho noted that he wanted to tattoo his initials on CM Punk during their feud. Literally tattooing, and yes, that's permanent, folks. Before the idea was nixed by Vince McMahon at the last minute, instead of focusing on Punk's father's alcoholism. I would have seen both. I would have loved to seen both, to be completely honest.
Dear God, that would have been so awesome. And that Punk was willing to do that. I guess that just goes to show the respect he has for Jericho. Well, either that or he was just going to get it covered later.
Apparently, yeah, McMahon nixed that because he didn't quite understand why it would matter, since CM Punk already has a bunch of tattoos.
Not like one more will mean anything or anything. Alright, so this week in wrestling, what should we watch? Yank and DDS.
Ah, fuck. I knew you were going to make me go first. How about that Roman Reigns and Bryan Daniels match? Daniel Bryan. Jesus. The Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns match last night. That was pretty friggin' awesome. Other than that, I got nothing.
Omega, which we watched this week in wrestling.
How about some war?
What match, what time, what promotion?
War is the promotion.
Well, what match should we watch from that promotion?
All of them, Gunner. All of them.
Running to his aid after he made you read Busta Hyman.
I still don't believe that's a real wrestler. I'm going to Google that, and if it's not, you guys are in trouble.
This week, I think you guys should watch the tag team match that was a three-way match. I believe it was a tag team gauntlet match for the number one contendership. The Usos versus the Primetime Players versus whatchamacallit, the Real Americans. These three have begun to rise to 1998 Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys level of potential awesome stuff that could happen between them. I want to see a Real Americans versus Primetime Players ladder match.
How about Wild Pegasus versus Lionheart in War, 1995?
Yeah, Gunner.
Took you long enough. Alright,
Also,
so that's it for this week. What?
I just wanted to point out that I did find linked Buster Hyman has a LinkedIn profile that says he's from San Francisco. So you win this round, Omega VR.
Buster Hyman. Buster Hyman, according to Urban Dictionary, is one of the best sandwiches at the Burger Bitch, also known as Wendy's. This sandwich consists of a Baconator double and the premium fish fillet. To create this masterpiece, you will need to remove the bottom bun from the Baconator double and then remove the top bun from the premium fish fillet. All you will have to do is place the fish fillet under the Baconator. Now you can enjoy a 2,000-calorie sandwich known as the Buster Hyman.
It is also a non-alcoholic drink containing equal parts lemonade and Sprite, as well as a shot of grenadine.
I'm going to have to get that next time I go out to eat. But that's not the point, and that's neither here nor there, and this is the end of the show. Because you can obviously tell we're bullshitting. Mind you, we haven't been bullshitting for the past hour and a half, but that is also not the point. Thank you for listening, for getting this far into the show. We appreciate every time you listen, every time you give us a like, every time you give us a follow, every time you give us a tweet. So maybe I should give you the addresses so you can do all that stuff. SmartSnark.com brings you directly to our Spreaker page, which has all of our previous episodes uploaded to it. You can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/SmartSnark, and that's got we've got Sirius and a few other things up on there. We also have Facebook, facebook.com/SmartSnark, a Twitter, twitter.com/SmartSnark, where Yankum and I occasionally tweet on Raws and pay-per-views and stuff like that. Omega is not hip to the Twitter, so he does not do the Twitter thing very, very often. We appreciate emails, hate mail, whatnot, to smartsnark@gmail.com. And am I missing anything?
Facebook.com/SmarkSnark. I don't know if you did that one.
I did that
Okay,
already.
well, I gotta double check. Gunner is in charge of the Facebook, so if it's not updated as often as it should be, you know who to blame.
Yeah, that's my fault, because I don't really update it very often. Alright, so, with that being said, the end of the show is best for business.
Hear, hear. And good night, Villa Park.
Once upon a time, in the hills of Ireland, there was born a child so white, with the hair of a firebrand. And as he grew older, he was a fighter, and he fought against injustice and lies. And his voice could be heard on every battlefield, and one word echoed up into the skies. He is a man, from the cross on his chest to the shine on his hide. It's time to ride. When he came the shine on his hide. It's the ride. He is a man from the cross on his chest to the shine on his hide. It's the light.